If you ask most people what freedom means, they'll say it's the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want. No rules, no schedules, no limits. It sounds perfect. Wake up when you feel like it. Eat whatever you crave. Spend your time however you wish. But here's the paradox. Living without discipline doesn't lead to freedom. It leads to slavery to your impulses, moods, and weaknesses. Imagine a person who eats anything they desire without restraint. At first, it feels liberating, but over time, their health deteriorates. Their energy drops, and their choices become limited by illness. Or take someone who spends money recklessly because they don't want to be restricted. Soon, they're buried in debt, and every decision is controlled by financial stress. True freedom isn't the absence of rules. It's the presence of the right rules. In Stoic philosophy, freedom is not the ability to indulge every desire, but the ability to master them. Modern psychology backs this up. Self-control is one of the strongest predictors of success, well-being, and happiness. Without discipline, your life is dictated by impulses. With discipline, you dictate your life. In the modern world, we're bombarded with choices. You can watch endless shows, order any food you want, connect with anyone instantly, and work from anywhere. It feels like freedom, but too many options often paralyze us or push us toward the easiest choice. This is called choice overload. When faced with endless possibilities, the brain defaults to what's comfortable, not what's meaningful. That's why even with all this freedom, people feel stuck, unfulfilled, and anxious. Discipline acts as a filter. By setting boundaries for yourself, deciding when you'll work, what you'll eat, how you'll spend your time, you reduce decision fatigue and focus your energy on what matters. It's like sailing a ship. Without a course, the ocean feels endless, but you drift aimlessly. With a course, every wave, every wind, every choice moves you toward your destination. The Stoics understood this. Epictetus taught that freedom is found not in doing whatever you wish, but in wishing only for what is in your control. When you live without discipline, you think you're free, but you're actually at the mercy of every temptation, distraction, and external influence. Here's the truth. Discipline often feels restrictive in the beginning. Waking up early, following a schedule, controlling your spending, or sticking to a workout plan feels like you're taking away your own freedom. That's because you're breaking habits that thrive on instant gratification. The brain's reward system, powered by dopamine, loves quick wins, sleeping in, eating comfort food, skipping the hard work. When you replace those quick wins with delayed rewards, your brain resists. But here's where psychology and stoicism align. Discomfort is temporary, but the benefits of discipline are lasting. A soldier trains daily, not because it's pleasant, but because when the moment comes, discipline becomes their advantage. Likewise, a disciplined life may feel rigid at first, but over time, it opens more opportunities than it closes. You have more energy, more health, more time, more focus. What once felt like a prison becomes the very thing that allows you to move freely in the world. In the words of Aristotle, through discipline comes freedom. Through freedom comes happiness. Most people think discipline is about punishment or sacrifice, but at its core, discipline is an act of self-respect. It's telling yourself, I am worth the effort. My future matters enough that I'm willing to protect it. Skipping discipline is not freedom, it's neglect. Think about how you treat things you value. You lock your doors to protect your home. You service your car to keep it running. You water your plants so they don't die. But many people fail to guard their own health, time, and mind with the same care. In Stoic thought, living without discipline is like leaving your mind's gates open for anything to come in anger, laziness, bad habits. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Without discipline, you let the world decide those colors for you. With discipline, you choose them yourself. Modern research shows that people who consistently practice self-control have higher self-esteem, and a greater sense of purpose. Discipline is not self-denial, it's self-investment. Confidence doesn't come from telling yourself you can do something. It comes from proving it to yourself through action. Every time you set a standard and meet it, you build trust in yourself. That's why discipline is the foundation of true confidence. Without it, your self-belief is fragile, easily shaken by setbacks or opinions. But with discipline, you have evidence. The early mornings you didn't skip, the projects you finished, the workouts you pushed through, the temptations you resisted. This is what Stoics like Seneca meant when they spoke of being invincible to fortune. Not because life wouldn't challenge them, but because they had the inner strength to endure and adapt. Psychologists call this self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to succeed in specific situations. It grows through disciplined action. Ironically, people who avoid discipline to stay free often live in fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown. Discipline removes that fear because you know you can rely on yourself. That's real freedom, moving through the world with certainty, not hesitation. Without discipline, your life is run by impulses, those sudden urges to eat what you shouldn't, spend what you can't afford, skip what you promised yourself to do. It feels harmless in the moment, but over time, these small impulses shape the trajectory of your entire life. Neuroscience shows that the brain's limbic system, responsible for emotion and reward seeking, reacts far faster than the rational prefrontal cortex. This means your first instinct will almost always lean toward comfort and ease. Discipline is what gives your rational mind enough space to step in, to say, no, not now, or yes, but later. It's not about killing desire, it's about mastering it. The Stoics compared this to training a wild horse. At first, the horse resists the reins, but over time, it learns to move with purpose instead of chaos. Without reins, the horse runs wherever it pleases, often into danger. Without discipline, you do the same. True freedom comes when you can feel an impulse and choose whether to act on it instead of being dragged by it. One of the greatest misconceptions is that discipline limits your life. In reality, it expands it. A disciplined person has more opportunities because they're prepared for them. Someone who manages their money well can invest, travel, or change careers when they want. Someone who keeps their body healthy can take on challenges that would exhaust others. Someone who uses their time wisely can learn skills, build relationships, and explore passions. Without discipline, these doors close your finances, health, or skills become the prison bars around you. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus, born a slave, argued that freedom is internal. It's about what you can control, and discipline is the key to controlling it. Modern psychology calls this delayed gratification, the ability to resist short-term temptation in order to achieve long-term goals. Those who master it have more choices because they haven't sabotaged their own future. The irony is clear. Discipline, which feels like saying no today, is actually saying yes to 1,000 better tomorrows. Discipline isn't built in a single dramatic moment. It's built in daily, often boring choices. Waking up at the same time, sticking to your workout, saying no to unnecessary spending, working on the project even when you don't feel like it. These small acts accumulate into something powerful. In Stoic philosophy, virtue isn't something you talk about, it's something you practice, moment by moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily reminders to himself, not because he was weak, but because he knew the pull of comfort and distraction never goes away. Modern behavioral science agrees. Habits form through repetition, and every time you follow through on a disciplined action, you strengthen the neural pathways that make it easier next time. This is why discipline eventually feels like freedom. You no longer waste energy fighting yourself. The things that once felt hard become automatic. And in that automation, you free your mind to focus on higher goals instead of wrestling with basic self-control. Freedom is not won in a single victory. It's earned daily through the choices you make. The easy choice today often makes tomorrow harder. The hard choice today almost always makes tomorrow easier. This is the essence of discipline. It's looking beyond the moment and asking, will my future self thank me for this? Without discipline, you're free only in the short term, but trapped in the long term, by poor health, by debt, by regret. With discipline, you sacrifice a little comfort now to gain years of health, wealth, and peace of mind. The Stoics would tell you that external freedom, no rules, no restrictions, is fragile. True freedom is internal, and discipline is the gatekeeper. So the next time you face the choice between comfort and discipline, remember, you're not giving something up, you're buying something bigger. You're buying the ability to live on your own terms, to move through the world with strength, and to meet life not as a prisoner of your impulses, but as the master of them. That is real freedom.